What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and this is the last race of PSGL season. But this race I was actually promoted one tier. I went from F4 to F3, so it was super cool that I got this opportunity. Since F4 ended a little early, there was a lot of people that got moved up because of pace. But yeah, anyways, yeah, we're here. And I'm going to be showing you guys my quali lap. So I came in with a realistic expectation. I was an F4 for a reason, because I'm an F4 paced. My one lap pace is just really not there, and Abu Dhabi generally is my worst track. Like, I've struggled with it all game, similar to Silverstone. So yeah, you're gonna see my lap. I'm currently P16, and this is my last run here. So I lost some time on that corner, but again, I was trying really hard. I actually practiced as much as I could before even the race, and here I missed the apex. I gained some back, then lose it again. So there was a little more time, but I'm gonna explain the caveat to that in a second. So I get really nice rotation around here, but I was being excessively cautious. I should have used all of the track, which I did not. But crossing the line, I'm up 1/10. I missed the apex one more time again, and I do a 22.2, which is my PB, and I still started P18, and that just shows the difference in pace. Yeah, so 5 red lights, and away we go. That's a little early, and away we go. Starting from the back in the kick sauber, going into turn 1, trying to be cautious. Little tap, glad there was no wing damage, but things get crazy early on. So here in slow motion, slowed it down, look at right there, big crash, and that is none other than the championship leader. So with that, OVR Nico ended up winning the championship right there in turn 1. So congrats to OVR Nico for your championship, man. If you do see this, congrats, man. That's big. But we continue. So safety car was in lap 3, and now we're P13. Some people box. I decided to stay out because I know what one of my biggest strengths is tire saving, so I decided to stay out. And look at behind the mirror, you're gonna see there a Mercedes spins out, and that brings out a VSC right there. So we haven't really had any racing right now. Yeah, so now we back to lap 4, beginning of lap 5, and now is when we start to move with this race. So we got a McLaren off track. We're here trying to just make sure I stay within DRS of these guys. Was my main priority, because once you lose DRS, especially in a PSGL and a tier this high, there's only 2 more tiers after this, tier 2 and tier 1, and if I lost DRS, my race was over unless a safety car came out. But you don't want to depend on that. You just want to make sure you stay with the train and push as hard as you can, and that's something I don't do. Sometimes I don't push enough. But he almost ran the Ashton, go a little deep, and that Ashton goes for that switchback, and then the Red Bull goes for a pretty good switchback on me. So I start using ERS, try to defend, and he's on hards too. This was really kind of hurt my soul a little bit, being overtaken by a hard runner like this around the outside. But again, yeah, it was my first time. I was a little nervous, and I just had to do what I could, and that Red Bull goes for a ridiculous dive, right? Nothing came out of that. So you see there was, I don't think there was no damage, because sim damage is not on, and that McLaren was clearly upset. Look at how much he slows down. He turns off his battery, and you see the cars up front just take off. I don't know why the McLaren decided to do this. I don't know why AMS Devil XX thought like this was just the way to do things. I understand like his frustration with this, and the reason I'm showing this because you guys can see what I'm saying is truth. Like, you see, like, he turned off his battery, and the guys up front just completely took off, and he's here just now defending for his life. And he's not doing it to me, he's doing it to ruin the Red Bull's race because of that. He probably has nothing to lose. loose. Okay, I understand that. You see, he's just fighting for his life. Like, he didn't even oversteer or nothing. At least from my angle, it didn't look like that. Yeah, and at this point, I was okay. So my race is over. Look at the mini map. Those guys are gone. I was just explaining how important DRS is in the game in general, but in PSGL WR team events and a tier this high, you need DRS. So yeah, look how far those guys are. He turned off his battery and he said, okay, you want to go for ridiculous dives and you're not going anywhere. I'm gonna ruin your race. You're not gonna score any points. So at this point, I think he just got tired of it and he just let me go. So like, I knew his issue wasn't with me, but it was just annoying because it was my first time in this tier and I wanted to do the best that I could to finish as high as I could if it was even a possibility. But anyways, now we are P12. P12, P11, somebody's boxing. You see somebody in the box. And I'm still with the mediums. I felt like my pace on the mediums was good. And this is where I made the mistake. I was keeping up with this hard runner pretty comfortably. And I ended up boxing a little early. So as you see here, people are hitting the boxes, those medium runners. And currently P7. I shouldn't even hardly be able to keep up with this guy. One, because the tier is faster than me, and I expected to be gapped a little bit. And I'm on old mediums, he's on hards. Like those things are fresh compared to my tires. And I was right on his gearbox. I wasn't even pushing. You see my battery, and I boxed, and I feel like I should have stayed out with him. And I'll tell you, and you see it right now. A safety car comes out as soon as I come out of the pits. That would have put me in a net P5 position. Yeah, it was a bit frustrating, but I underestimated my own pace because I was in a higher tier. But I wasn't losing any time to him. I was at full battery. So here we go, safety car restart. Now my fight is I need to stay with the medium runners. Hards have no grip, but they're very good around this track. And there's 14 laps to do. That's a lot of laps for the mediums on this track. So I knew I needed to stay within the DRS of these guys, and my hards will become much better around lap 21 was my prediction. And yeah, I just had to stay with these guys. I had to push and stay with these guys as much as I could. But here I just kind of let the Ferrari go by. He's on fresh mediums. There's just that's not my fight at the moment. Yeah, definitely not my fight at the moment. So like I said, I can't just be fighting people and defending a non-points position for no reason. You see there's a Red Bull out of track and rejoins, and it kind of hits the side of my car. Nothing to do there, but when it did happen, actually kind of freaked me out. But yeah, now still P11 and trying to fight as hard as I can to stay with these mediums. You see how much more grip those mediums have, and I'm running really low on my ERS. Get my first warning, miss the apex, burning on my ERS. Like, I know I can't afford to lose this DRS, but I don't. I stay with it. The problem is I have no battery for this really long straight, and I'm losing ground. I'm losing a lot of ground, so that kick had to burn all his and try to catch up to those. The Red Bull goes for a dive, very clean, nothing to do there. I defend it, but he goes for a really nice switchback, and he gets me out on traction and another medium runner, so I'm not surprised. But then Swifty goes, yeah, I'll go down the inside since you're not defending. Yeah, but just trying my best here. You see, I almost lost DRS there. I broke really late. My braking technique is very different. I'm not a hard braker. I lift and then I brake last minute, and that allows me to carry a lot of speed and save tires as well. But you see, I'm ready to just lose this DRS. I'm like fighting for my life, but thankfully these guys started fighting really hard, and it allowed me to come back and fight a little bit and also regenerate my ERS, because you see I'm on none. and poor Swifty gets some front ring damage, you see there, and then gets run off track, gets a penalty. Yeah, so that was his race over. But now we're back to P13, and I'm back in the train. So that was good. Lucky that they fought so hard. But yeah, that was good. You see a car spun out right there on that corner, McLaren. It was really hard to see, but a McLaren ended up spinning out. So now we are P12. That was NLR Luca, and I had a big scare there. I don't know how I was able to save that, but it gave me some rotation. Actually, gave me a good entry into the corner. Here we go. One more time. Somebody spun out on that same corner. That corner was treacherous. There was a lot going on that corner all race. So now lap 22. Now my pace is feeling really strong, and it's been pretty strong all race. I've been able to keep up with these guys, and the Ferrari goes for a really nice overtake down the inside there. But yeah, now I'm P11, 15 drivers, a few DNFs already. They're still fighting really hard, and now I'm right on their gearbox, and now I'm sniffing at the points. I'm right behind him, and I'm like, okay, then these points are possible at this point. These two guys are fighting extremely hard, and the game decides to be the game there. But yeah, see there, pushes him off track. I try to go down the inside, and I'm like, okay, maybe this is my time to shine. These guys are medium runners, and you see my hards are much better than their tires now. He tries to cover me off. I'm not gonna be scared. I'm gonna send it 2 in one corner, and I kept the position. So now we're in P9, net P9 on merit, which was really cool. The McLaren goes for it, and he ends up spinning. The Ferrari misses the corner, but still stays behind me. And obviously he's on very old mediums, so he's struggling now. It's his time to struggle to be able to keep up with me. So as you see here, he is 7 tenths. He's 7 tenths away, and after turn 1, he lost over a tenth there. His tires are cooked, but he's obviously a really good driver, and he's able to stay with me comfortably. And then you see the other kick Sauber spun out. So now we are P8. Now I'm like, oh my god, what is happening? Then lap 27, the kick Sauber overtakes me. I'm not going to fight it. Why would I fight it? I was like, I'll just overtake him on the next lap. I just gotta stick with him at this point. And then he disconnects. Same lap. At the end of the lap, he just disconnected, and it made me lose time a little bit because I didn't know what was going on. But yeah, he completely disconnected, so very unfortunate for him. We all know how this game goes. And then the Ferrari goes for a desperate move, kind of a push to pass, but still still was okay. I got a little scared. I should have defended harder. I didn't. I lost the car, lost some traction, so lost that P8 for a moment, because coming into this corner, his tires are overheating. He just cannot keep it together. OVR Nico wins the race, and I come across in P8 in my debut PSGL F3. Just the best moment I've had, second best moment I've had all game. My first one was the win in esports event in Monza. That was my first podium, first win in a team event, and just my best result in a really high tier tournament. So yeah, but anyways, this was super cool. So hopefully you guys enjoy this race. I really enjoyed my first season in PSGL, doing F4, F3, and I started this game and I was in tier 8 of WR, so big progress. So if you're here, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for the support. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you check out my next video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.